Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? And so if you're in this place in your life where you're like, man, I fucking quit. I don't want to keep going. I don't want to keep doing this. Let me first say I get it. Like I know that place like the back of my hand because 27, 28, 29 years old, I'm like one step forward, two steps backwards. And once I hit 30, it started getting a little easier. I was able to understand things a bit better, but it wasn't really for a bit while longer until it really solidified. And I was just like, "Just keep going, dude, no matter what." And for me, the motivation at that time was just felt like I was really in dark energy around that time. I was so relentless about my willingness to heal that I did whatever it took. That meant leaving Indiana, leaving a relationship, leaving friends, leaving a career, closing a business down, packing everything that I owned while I was in debt and moving across the country, selling all the rest that wouldn't fit into the car that I had to rent because my Cadillac broke down and I had to sell it, and landing in some weird house that I had to live in for a couple of months in Portland, Oregon, and just being like, what the fuck am I doing? And in that moment, like knowing that the thing that I was doing was I was really becoming the hero. I was finally doing the thing that I said that I always going to do. I was finally doing it and showing up and living life on my terms and facing the reality that I wanted to create. And so I'm watching this movie, I'm watching Rocky, and he has this really, really fascinating moment in the film where he's laying in bed with Adrian. It's the night before he fights Apollo Creed for the championship. And like, yo, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Rocky, like, what are you doing? Like, come on, the movie's fucking 40 years old. Actually, it might be older than that. I'm terrible at math. But my point is this: he's in bed. He's talking to Adrian. He's like, Adrian, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not the guy for this. What is going on? And he's just like venting to her, right? And I've mentioned this before. Rocky is a love story. It is not a sports movie. Watch Rocky. It's a beautiful love story. And he says something. And this is the frame that I was thinking about as I was in this journey in the beginning. This is the only thing that crossed my mind. Like on a daily basis, I was like, keep going. And Rocky says to Adrian, he goes, nobody's ever taken Creed out. He's a champion of the world. No one's ever gone the distance with him. Rocky says, the only thing I want to do is I want to go the distance. I want to prove to myself that I'm capable of doing this. And that for me is what this whole journey has been. That for me is what Think Unbroken is. That for me is what coaching is. That for me is in those moments. And trust me, there's a million of them where I'm like, I'm done. I want to quit. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to have to go to therapy. I don't want to have a coach. I don't want to have to learn another thing. I want to just go and exist in this bubble of nothingness. I would remind myself, like, you can't quit. And that is this really intense sense of accountability, because when you can't quit, when you refuse it, when you will not quit, when you will not throw in the towel, you cannot lose. Now, it might take you 30 years to get where you want to go, but you cannot lose. And that was what I took away from watching Rocky again. Even though I'd seen it a million times, I was like, oh, wait, no, this is exactly the way I was thinking. I'll never forget this. The first time I saw that movie, I was 6 years old, and it was a Saturday, and we were in this crap apartment. Like, it was it was so nasty, right? But, my mom was doing what she could. She hadn't yet married my stepdad. We weren't in a house yet, and we were just, like, in this dire situation, HUD housing, right? My mom, single mom, 3 kids. She's dealing with her alcoholism, and anyway, I won't go down that path today. You guys know the story. I'm laying on the floor in the bedroom with the TV on the ground. It was this little gray box RCA TV, channel 4, like commercials every 8 seconds, watching Rocky for the first time as a little boy and being enamored. Like, just like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. And I remember at the end of it just being like, whoa, that dude's like larger than life. He's this unstoppable, and like kids all have whatever superhero or person in the world they look up to. And for me, it was Rocky for a long time. It was also Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but mainly Rocky. And I remember watching that and just time and time and time again, and just thinking to myself, one day I'm going to get out of this. One day I'm going to get out of this. One day I'm going to get out of this. And then that day came. And then you fast forward a whole lot of years, and here I am with you. And the only reason I'm here, like, this is interesting. Every day. When I say every day, I mean literally every day. I get messages from people on social media and email to my text, voice notes, everything. And they're like, thank you for making this podcast. Guys, I want to be really clear about something. This podcast would not exist if I quit. It would not exist. It would not help hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions. It would not be this powerhouse of a thing that it is. It would not be changing lives if I quit, if I gave up. And I don't mean just like in my healing journey, but I mean today. It's 6:17 at night on a Friday. Here I am. You guys will not be listening to this on Friday, but context. Here I am. We're going on 11 hours of being in the office, creating content, working on events, writing, learning. I do my own personal development and education every single day. And we needed an episode for Sunday. And I said, I got to do this before I walk out the door today. I planned on walking out the door a long time ago, but I couldn't because that to me is quitting. That to me is giving up. And now after this, we have to do on the backside. The team has to edit it. They have to chop it up. We have to get it posted. We have to create the social media content. We have to put it in the world so other people find it. Because somebody might find this one, and this is the cornerstone. This is their Rocky when they're 6 years old, right? You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?